guys, this is the first video of 2025. Can't believe that. If you hear any background noises, I'm really sorry. I'm like by my window because it's really hot and I really apologize. This video is about things or ways that have changed my mindset positively, changing my perspective of the world around me. And I personally wanted to share this with you because since it is still the beginning of 2025, I want us to enter 2025 in a positive attitude. This video is going to be a little chatty, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Before, I never really liked talking to the camera like this all the time because I thought I was boring you guys, but I heard so many of you guys, they actually like that I talk a lot, so I'm gonna keep pursuing that. By the way, if I keep looking down here, it's because I got my laptop with all my notes because I cannot remember everything I say. Number one. First thing is to declutter. Decluttering can range from different areas. Number one is decluttering your environment, which is very essential to your mental health. The type of environment that you're in or surrounded by is an influence or reflects your mental state. For example, if you're in a very messy room, it really feels overwhelming sometimes because the clutter around your room actually overstimulates your brain, and hence why when we're in a cleaner environment, you feel that you're in more of a sense of control and feel more organized, and you can just think clearly because there's nothing distracting you. For my experience personally, there be times when my room does get really messy, and I usually do my schoolwork at my study desk, which is literally by my bed. So whenever there is a lot of clutter around my room, I just move to the dining room because it's a lot more cleaner than my bedroom. And that is not really beneficial for me because there's a lot of things happening in the background when I do study in the dining, like for example kitchen, the TV's on, and other family members in the house. Number two is decluttering all the old files and pictures from your phone and laptop. Freeing space on your phone really helps because you later don't want to get that one notification saying you ran out of storage, your phone is running out of storage, because we've all been there and hate it when it happens, because I've been there when I need to work on my Photoshop or InDesign file, whatever, then you get that notification and I literally need to get my schoolwork done ASAP and I can't because of the files and so on and so on. Yeah. Let it be a later problem, like deal with it now. Keep practice of decluttering. Also to mention that deleting photos off your camera roll actually promotes letting go of unnecessary attachments. And that could be like people from the past or events or reminders that no longer serve you now. This emotionally makes you feel free. This is the same with apps as well. And third is declutter toxic people out of your life. Is something I wish I knew beforehand. Even though this may be like an obvious thing that we all should know about, but it can be overlooked sometimes because of factors like needing closure, that you're not alone and you have friends, but in reality, these friends are actually draining you. That is because you're surrounded by those who constantly create drama, criticize others, and is just generally like negative. And by walking away from these toxic relationships, confirms that your self-respect reinforces the belief that you deserve better relationships. When I did do this, I later then sensed that there is peace in my life. Now there's no toxic drama, bad patterns, and you just finally feel like you can be your authentic self. The other night, I was watching an influencer's video. You might know who she is. The Wizard Liz. She is amazing. She touches this topic in her video called, I think it's called, You Want to Manifest Your Dream Life? I Got You. And I can definitely put a link to her video or channel in the description if you guys would like. She quotes that she gets often frustrated when people say that they are comfortable being unhappy surrounded by the wrong people, and goes about how she would rather sit alone during high school and rather not be friends with anyone whose energy isn't so good, does not care less about it. And that is because she only invites quality people into her life. Next topic, I don't know if this will make sense, but what you watch is what you are. whatever media you take in is what influences you or your feelings or just how you feel about yourself. If you're watching something on your feed that makes you feel negative about, or you just feel conflicted because it makes you insecure, which is something you should fix. Read some self-help books, self-care, talk to a therapist, whatever. Remove it from your social media, block, unfollow, and whatever. Kind of like decluttering again. Just follow content that will improve you. Also, comparison is a thief. Feeling drained and wasting time on wishing that you could be like someone else on social media. Just be your authentic self. I think that truly matters, and I just believe that social media is really made to share knowledge and information and to really inspire others rather than letting people down. Like, I think that's what social media is supposed to be. In the same video, the Wizard Liz also mentions this little phrase that like actually kept me thinking about, and it is, what are you watching that will elevate you in the future? Don't get me wrong, I still love watching my Netflix shows and my Disney Plus, but I also keep feeding myself positive and good content. These are just examples of what I watch. So for example, I listen to podcasts also by The Wizard Liz, and A Better You by Fernanda Ramirez. Focuses on self-improvement, setting boundaries, empowerment, and lessons in their experiences. I'm one of those people who are into tarot readings and into spirituality. I don't know if you guys are into that, but that's what I'm into, and I often get them on my For You page. A lot of content creators who create like self-improvement type of videos as well. A tip, if you guys want to keep getting those type of videos, just keep saving them, keep liking them, so it keeps going to your algorithm on your For You page. Kind of change the lighting. Do you guys like that? I change it back. Wait. And apart from the digital media world, I keep myself educated with self-help books, which definitely have changed my perspective in life and how I handle different types of situations. Back in 2020, I really had bad anxiety and depression, and so my dad would buy me these series of books, of self-help books by the same author, which I think his name is Andrew Matthews. I refused to read them. The title of each book had no, well, back then I thought had no relevance to what I was going through, but obviously there's different chapters within that book, so obviously I didn't even care to think that. There's also something else that I was going through that time and thought, you know what, let's just read this book, this author, I guess. And since then, my mindset has shifted. Like, everything has shifted. My dad bought me a bunch of these. They've just been sitting at the back of my bookshelf because I refuse to touch them. But now I just like, sometimes I just pick it up like whenever I feel like needing. Like, this tiny one. There's ones like this, like the big ones, where it actually delves into the author's lessons and perspectives. A bunch of them. They're getting old. As you can see, like this one's already starting to become yellow. So this one's called Follow Your Heart, Being Happy, Happiness in Hard Times, Making Friends. And also, ever since I started reading those books, I've started reading more self-help books. This is the second one I got, which is called 100 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. I think I mentioned this in my videos, or maybe it was the other one. This one's by Brianna West Reese. I don't know how to pronounce her name. This one's a very popular one. This one, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This one's also a very popular one. Next is mindful activities, or activities that keep you energized. A mindful activity that I've incorporated into my life is journaling, which is kind of like another form of decluttering, but releasing emotional tensions, whether you're sad, happy, angry, confused, and etc. Just makes room for fresh perspectives. When you do this, you get like a sense of control. You just see all the different patterns within your thoughts that you write down on paper. I think writing down at least 1 to 3 things that you're grateful for in your life is a very good practice that you should definitely implement into your life. What can also change your mindset is to actually say it out loud, or in your mind whatever you're grateful for, and instantly I feel very optimistic and I feel lighter when I do this. Another activity is going on nature walks. I don't know if this is just me personally, but Do you ever just notice whenever the sun is out, you feel more awakened, and when it's gloomy, you just feel very tired? It is actually proven that having exposure to the sunlight increases serotonin levels, which can definitely boost your mood and energy. Make time during this week to go out, go have little walks, even if it's just in your neighborhood. I'm one of those people who don't really like bushwalking or anything like that, so anything with bugs or like snakes or heat always makes me anxious. I don't want to go out, so I find at least an alternative way to just connect with nature. Just having a clear view of the ocean really makes me feel calm, and with the fresh air, the smell of salt, just the sound of waves crashing gently, just makes me feel present and at peace, keeping me grounded really. My family also goes there just to meditate as well. And moving on to activities that keep you energized, so which means activities that keep you moving. For example, dancing, doing Pilates, swimming, that keep you feeling recharged. For me, I used to play basketball in high school, and whenever I did play with my team, I always feel happy and energized because my body is moving. But importantly, I play with others who I can feel that I can have fun with and who are supporting, so it's just a positive little community. Also, I have been starting to get into yoga. Honestly, it's really hard. I know a lot of people do it every morning. I do it some mornings because there are times where I just don't want to do it. I do like doing it sometimes because the way I feel afterwards, I feel good. I think it's a good activity to keep doing as a daily routine or at least a weekly routine. Next one. Being delusional. This is a bit silly, but being delusional can really play a big part in manifestation, and you don't have to believe in God or the universe. If you're really like just not religious, you can just believe that there is a higher self or like a better version of yourself. Reality is often shaped by perception and the mindset. If you convince yourself that you're meant for something big, you start making choices that align with that belief, which brings you closer to that goal. Perhaps sometimes why we keep being consistent in doing things that keep us motivated, bring us closer to that desire, is because of that delusion, and that there is some potential it could really happen in the future or into our reality. I think motivation isn't the main thing, it's actually discipline. Like, you have to discipline into actually doing things to get there, I guess. And to furthermore talk about the action part, but where you are right now in your current state and to that dream life, you still need to work in that between. Imagine it like a timeline. Like, you probably have studied this in high school, with me especially in doing a design subject. Hi guys, this is me editing right now. One of my clips was cut off, so I'm just gonna say what I was supposed to say. You probably have been taught how to do timelines in school, and when I was doing my design tech subject, for me, when I was making my HEC major work, creating a timeline where there is the beginning of the project and on the other end is pretty much the end project. This really helped guide me in the whole process by noting and taking little steps towards the end project. Mood boards, the information, the research, the prototypes, and so on and so on. Without that, there's no end project. So that is like the same with when we're manifesting that dream life, if that makes sense. In order to get to something, we have to make little small steps. Again, same with like that example with my design timeline, getting research and information and so on and so on. That can be just people who know a lot about it, and you get information from them, or you research blogs, articles, self-help books. Make little steps. For me, in my design work, so I keep switching between, but I made a dress for the final project. So I had to make obviously little samples and test to see if it works or not, and the prototype to show that it's possible. Same with our manifestations. You have to show that it's possible, so discipline yourself. And when you're in this delusional state that focuses more on the possibilities and rather not the fear, you try to be more optimistic about it. You break free from that self-doubt. and that limiting beliefs, you know, because you are so confident that it makes you believe in yourself and live with certainty and purpose. A little fun activity that I did in my little journal, probably won't be able to see it, and I hope you guys don't see it. I drew a cloud surrounding a quote saying, "You want it so bad because you already have it in the future." This could be example, but go to the gym more often, get a cat or get a dog. I write these down with a mindset of knowing that I will have them in the future. And the last one, don't take things too personal. Taking things not too personally is actually a great skill to have, especially in many areas of your life. And this skill is something I learned later in life when I used to take things personally, like small comments or situations. It just really drains my energy. When learning to detach yourself from these negative emotions, it really preserves your peace and focus on what truly matters, protecting your emotional energy. For me, I'm just an overthinker. Used to overanalyze people's words, and eventually I just start doubting myself. But those are their words and thoughts. I know my worth than they do, so why should I even care? And within friendships or relationships, if people may seem a little distant or they react in a way that you didn't expect them to, it is often more to do with their mood or like just situation, nothing to do with you. This is also an important skill in the job industry. For example, when getting a rejection from a job that you apply to, don't take it as a no. Take it as a redirection, because there is something way better for you, perhaps. Or when you do work, when you're dealing with bad customers, try not to be defensive about it or cause a scene when it's really not necessary. It just wastes your energy. Because of the skill, I became more of a resilient person than I've ever was. Often in design and art courses, it's typical to get critiques and feedbacks that can sometimes come a little too harsh about your work. And when I began my first few trimesters in this course, I did take things a little bit personally. Like when my teacher would give me the critiques that I wasn't really looking for, and I didn't really show that I was upset in front of her. When I go back home, I go and sob and cry about it. And when my mom or dad come to see my work and say, "Oh my god, I love it, like I love your work," I tell my mom. She doesn't like it. My teacher does not like it. Then I feel there's no sense of motivation anymore, and I just give up. And this is the teacher who would not sugarcoat things. Like, she will only tell you the truth. And my perspective changed when I heard one of my friends say that they were actually glad to have them as my teacher, like as our teacher. She only says those things because she really wants to elevate your work, not to bring us down. That our ideas and thought process and whatever are horrible. No, she just wants our work to be at our best potential. Like, kind of when you think about it, when a 5-year-old tries to draw a person and obviously the proportions of the body isn't right, or like the face is wonky, or you just can't even think, is that even a person? Like, you don't tell the child that it looks horrible, and so we tend to lie and say, yeah, it looks good. And that is because their mindset, like the child's mindset, is still learning, developing, and obviously cannot handle those type of criticisms, but only if the parent trains them to. But in my instance, my teacher knows that I am capable of being resilient and using her feedback and incorporating that into my work. Oh my god, my stomach. I don't know if you guys can hear my stomach, it's like rumbling. But she knows that I can handle those criticisms. I think it's because when having so much exposure and receiving those type of feedbacks, I got used to it and I just became more resilient, because I know that all she wants for my work is to be at its best, and she gives alternative ways to improve it, even if it's from that little idea. It says, oh, maybe instead of this, expand on it in a different way or something like that. That is why I'm always feeling motivated to show my work all the time to her for feedbacks. If I keep hiding from my teacher because of those feedbacks that I do not want to hear, how will my work ever improve and become better? Anyways, it is 3:50 a.m. in the morning and I need to sleep. I hope you guys can use these notes and incorporate them into this year. But I hope you guys like this video, and if you do like this type of video where I'm talking about these kind of things about changing mindsets and self-improvement, please let me know if you want me to make a series on this, because I actually enjoy making this video. But go subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, feel free to say anything in the comments below, and follow my social medias. Also feel free to suggest any type of videos you want me to do in the future. I always have them listed down in my little notes app. I hope the rest of 2025 will be good to you guys. Sending my blessings and good luck.